Welcome back, guys. You guys are in for a special treat today. Brian and I, we got lots of things going on, but we're trying to get everything ready for our timber framing project. And that means getting our sawhorses pinned today. So we made these sawhorses. You guys saw these videos a couple back. We made the draw horse, so we got the pins. We're going to use the fir pins that I cut on the shave horse. And we're going to be trying draw boring today. This is something that I haven't really done it much. Have you done it, Brian?
I've never done it before either, no.
So what draw boring is maybe you can come in here close so we can explain it. It is a we have our holes, right? So this is our sawhorse. Let me get in a spot where you can see there. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
We have our holes here. So our joinery works out like this. We have this is the mortise. The mortise is the female portion of the joint, and then we have this is the tenon, the male part, and of course we have the corresponding holes. These are 3/4 inch holes. Now, as we talked about earlier, I made some mistakes in my earlier attempts at this by trying to put a 3/4 inch peg into a 3/4 inch hole. It doesn't fit. There's no room there. So these are actually turned down a 1/16 under. And the reason why they have such a taper on them, that they're that shape, is because of what is called draw boring. And what draw boring is, what it means is that these holes are not perfectly lined up. They're offset just a little bit. They're offset. So you think we'd put the pin through here. We're going to offset them just a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch. And what that will do is that will pull the joinery together tighter. So if you look in here, I'll put this back in, and Brian should be able to show you here. Can you see, is there enough light behind there, Brian? Can you see how they're offset? So I'll try to hold this up here where you can see it.
Oh yeah.
You can see that it's drawborn, meaning the hole in the tenon, it's closer to the shoulder here than these. And this is hopefully going to pull these tight. So we'll find out, not split it. So we'll try our first one here and see what happens. And this is what we'll certainly incorporate on the rest of the build. But when I've made these pegs, what I noticed here was the ones I made yesterday, that the point wasn't near sharp enough. These are the ones I made on the shave horse, and they hit. So when I try to put them in, I can't find the hole on there. So what I've had to do is I've just taken my knife and I'm just carving those down a little bit of a taper, and then it seems to go in. Yeah, just fine right there. All right, should we peg one? See what happens?
Yeah, let's do it.
Our first one. Nice thing about working on this little stuff is you can kind of move it around to what you want. So we're just using the fir pegs. That goes in a lot better when you don't put a 3/4 inch hole peg in a 3/4 inch hole. I'll start these at the same time. Oh, that works a lot better. So having those crazy shapes, you know, it was kind of bothered me, my OCD right there, not having everything perfectly round. But the books, Brian and I both have been reading about this, and the books we've read, so that's fine. You want those facets, you want those sharp edges on there, because that's what goes in there and bites on the side. I've even seen in some of the old books, they say that you can kind of do a, what would you call this? It's not a scallop, is it?
Yeah, what would you call that?
Kind of like a fish barb, like that. You can do that, and that would help it from backing out too. And maybe that might come into play if you had something that was like a wagon or something moving that wasn't static. I don't know. We're not gonna do that. So I'm gonna put these through a little bit more. It feels good. Got the resistance there, and here's the other side. And the joint indeed is really nice and tight now. What is it about this? This is so cool, huh?
I don't know what it is.
It's nothing like it. I never get this feeling when I screw a Simpson or put a Simpson bracket on something. You know, it's just not the same. It's just an amazing thing. Okay, so let's go through the draw bore process. This is half of the leg. We'll do everything from the start, and then we'll put the sawhorse together and move on to the next thing. Well, then we'll show you what Brian's been up to. All right, so let's drill this out. So we had some analysis here of my hole was a little bit off, and we thought, should we match the hole, or should we, like, no, let's go consistent. We'll just keep it consistent right off the shoulder. So we're gonna come in, and one thing we want to do is we'll put a piece of 2x down here, so when we drill through, we don't tear out the other side. Have you used these old Irwin bits?
Not in a while.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
They are just magic. Nice thing about, here I can feel it. Nice thing about using the traditional tools is that connection you have with the material. I mean, I go on and on about this all the time, but it really is something. It's a totally different experience of working with this tool versus like a power drill or anything I have to use ear protection or eye protection. And what it does is it removes me from the experiences. It isolates all my senses. You can't really feel much with it. This here, I can feel the wood. I can feel when I'm going into a knot and adjusting pressure. I'm listening, I'm hearing. I know exactly when the bit comes through the other side. Right there. And there's no two pieces alike. Everything is always different. You're always learning. Okay, so there is our second. I broke through a little bit, but that looks pretty good. That looks really good. Okay, so we have to modify a couple of our pegs here because I didn't get enough point on them. I might have to make a separate hole in my, made this little what we call it, a no-go gauge that sits on the shave horse to put these in, and I kind of wanted it to go right up there and stop at about this length, so I can put my hand there, and if it goes in like this firmly, then I have a pretty good sized peg. But what I did wrong was I didn't get that point on there. Easy fix though. So we are using the fir pegs. They're not ideal. In a perfect world, we'd be using a hardwood peg. Primarily oak, I think, is traditional. But we don't have any oak up here. We're in kind of alpine or subalpine area, and we're trying to. It's kind of nice to try to see if we can work with what we have. And these being sawhorses, it's not really a life or death issue. Okay, should we do another one?
Yeah, let's do.
Let's do another one here. So let's tap this down. That's better, isn't it?
Can you hear how much tighter that is?
Yeah, that's better. Okay, we'll do our next pegs here. I just love it. I absolutely love it. You can hear them tightening up. Hear the pressure increasing. Oh, that's beautiful. Just beautiful. Now those pegs I didn't quite shave as much. They're a little bit tighter. That's going to be a pretty tight joint there, isn't it? What do you think? Think that's good?
Well, you can't move it, can you?
No?
Well, then it's probably good.
It's probably good, all right. We'll go with that. All right. So that is the bottom pieces. So I'll set the camera up, and then we'll just let you kind of follow along with what's going on here, and we'll finish them up and see if we can park the tractor on them. So that's it, everyone, for the Sawhorses. They're, I think they're going to work out good. They're super rigid. I had some concerns. I know there were some of you in the comments that had the same concern, that because my joints were a little bit loose, that they would have been really sloppy moving around. It doesn't appear to be the case, but we'll see. The fur, what do I think about the fur pins? I don't know. We'll see. We'll work with them and see what happens. When we do the structure, we'll use the oak pins, but what's the worst thing that can happen? If we have one that breaks or so, we'll, knock it out and put a new one in, so it doesn't, no harm done. So it seems like I can pound them out either way. I only had one of them that split, mushroomed on the ends because I misstruck it. This is not the best hammer. I should have a wood mallet with a bigger face on it, so I'm not likely to misstrike. But it all worked out really good. So they were quick and dirty. But they're going to serve a purpose, and they're going to work just fine. So we feel very lucky to have them. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next exciting video.
I don't think I have the words to tell you how blessed I feel to be able to have a day like this, and to be able to share it with you guys just makes it even the richer. I think there's no coincidence, or it was very much a plan that when God sent his son, Jesus Christ, to come back to the earth, that he sent him as a carpenter. Because there is something about building something with your own hands, something taking a tree and hewing it into lumber, or cutting into lumber and creating something that's useful, a useful tool that is beyond satisfaction. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.